An Introduction to the Devout Life by St. Francois de Sales, Book 3, Chapter 14, On Poverty of Spirit in the Midst of Wealth. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Woe, then, to those who are rich in spirit, for their portion will be hell. He is rich in spirit, whose heart is in his riches, and whose riches fill his heart. He is poor in spirit, who does not have riches in his heart, nor his heart in riches. The halcyon, they say, builds its nest in the shape of a ball, only leaving one little aperture at the top. And so firm and impenetrable is it, that when the waves of the sea surround it, no water ever enters, but always rising upon the waves, they remain upon and in the midst of the sea, as lords over it. Even so should your heart be, open only to heaven, and impenetrable to riches and to earthly things. If you possess riches, preserve your heart from loving them. Let it rise above them, and be poor in the midst of wealth, and master of its riches. Beware of losing the spirit of holiness in the good things of the world, but let it always be the superior, not in them, but over them. There is a difference between possessing poison and being poisoned. Apothecaries keep poisons for various uses, but they are not poisoned, because the poison is in their shops only, not in themselves. And so, you may possess riches without being poisoned by them. That is, if you have them in your house or in your purse, but not in your heart, being rich in substance, but poor in spirit. It is a great happiness for a Christian to be actually rich, but poor in spirit, for thus he can use wealth and its advantages in this world, and yet have the merit of poverty as regards the next. But no man will own that he is avaricious. Everyone repudiates this despicable narrowness of heart. Men excuse themselves on the plea of providing for their children, or on that of prudence and forethought. They never have too much, but always find some good reason for seeking more. And even the greatest misers not only will not confess their avarice, but in their own consciences do not believe themselves to be avaricious. For greed is as a burning fever, which as it grows stronger, is less perceived by its victim. Moses beheld how fire from heaven burned a bush without consuming it, but the profane fire of avarice consumes and devours the miser without burning him. For amidst the fiercest lusts he fans himself with an imaginary and delicious breeze, and believes that insatiable thirst is only natural and rightful. If you desire eagerly and anxiously that which you do not have, though you may say you do not seek to acquire it unjustly, you are still really avaricious. If a man longs anxiously and earnestly to drink, albeit he desires water only, he gives undeniable proof that he is feverish. I doubt if it is possible to desire to possess honestly that which another possesses. For by this desire we must involve the other's loss. If he possess a thing justly, does he not have a better right in justice to keep it than we have to wish for it? And why should we interfere with his convenience by wishing for it? At least, if the desire is not unjust, it is uncharitable, for we should not like anyone to desire, even honestly, that which we honestly wish to keep for ourselves. Such was the sin of Ahab, who honestly wished to possess himself of Naboth's vineyard, while in his turn Naboth wished with greater justice to retain it. Ahab indulged the wish for a long time, eagerly and anxiously, and thus he displeased God. Do not give way to the wish for that which is another's, unless he, on his part, wishes to part with it. Then his desire will render you not only just, but charitable. I would not forbid you to extend your means and possessions, as long as you do it not only with justice, but with gentleness and charity. But if you are very strongly attached to what you do possess, if you are absorbed in your possessions, and they fill your heart, possessing your thoughts, and filling you with anxious fears lest you lose them, believe me, you are still somewhat feverish, for fever patients drink the water that is given them with an eagerness and relish that is not usual to those who are in perfect health. You cannot take great delight in anything without its engrossing your heart more or less. If you lose any of your possessions and find that your heart is grievously afflicted, be sure that you loved them dearly, for nothing so well tells our love for what we lose as our grief for the loss. Therefore, do not let your desires for that which you do not have assume a definite shape, and do not fix your heart on that which you do have. Do not be overpowered by such losses as you may meet with, and then you may venture to think that although you are rich in fact, you are not in spirit, but that being poor in spirit, you are blessed, for the kingdom of heaven is yours. End of chapter 14.